What up, though? Welcome to the Detroit Sports Alliance Roundtable with Luke G's Field Review. We got a good show for you, ladies and gentlemen, today that I think is going to help you out with the aftermath of what occurred on Sunday. But before we get into that, we're going to announce some people. We got a special guest on today. We have Mr. JT Sports in the building. JT, what up, though?
What up, though, everybody? Thank you guys for having me come on and be a guest tonight, man. Been looking forward to this all day, literally.
Hey man, listen, we glad you on, man. It's always good to have somebody with an outside source that's not as committed to the team as we are. Right behind that, we have the maestros of all maestros, the king of all intros himself, Mr. MicroMike. What up, though?
Let's get it, folks. It's going to be one hell of a show tonight.
Man, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I support that. And we have Mr. Heart of the City 313 J Mo. Talk to the people.
What's good, y'all? What's good? How y'all doing out there, man?
And we have Mr. We Talk Sports, period. Nothing else. None of that politics. None of all that other stuff. Just straight sports, period. Mr. TA from Noble Sports Entertainment. What up, though?
Yo, what it do?
Man, what it do indeed, man. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Mr. 313 J-Mo do the roll call. Good sir, can you please handle that for us?
All right, everybody, how y'all doing out there? Make sure you like the video. You haven't liked it already. Data Boy was good. Bash Starwin was good. Chris Cashball, what up, though? We got Boo in the building. What's good, man? Yu-Gi-Oh! Rex, General G Berry, what up, though? Blue and Silver Phantom. What up, though? Mr. CA3 Sports Talk. What up, though? William Wilson, Alex C, Kevin Hayes. What up, though? Mars Landon, what's good with you? How you doing? Adam Barker, how you doing? How you doing? Nicholas Aaron, what up, though? D Williams, Rocco P, One Proud 40. What up, though? How y'all doing today? George Morgan, what up, though?
All right. I think you hit on everybody, man. Like I said, people generally get in here a little bit slow because YouTube has issues with getting out notifications. So, hey, make sure you guys tell a friend that we are live right now as we speak, and we are going to be talking some football and some Lions football at that. So make sure that they are here so they don't miss anything. And if they do, tell them to rewind it back because that still helps and that still makes a difference in how the show is viewed and produced. So just wanted to, welcome everybody to the show. Today we are going to address a number of things. Some of the topics that we're going to address is the aftermath of Sunday's disappointing tie between the Arizona Cardinals and the Detroit Lions. We are also going to discuss Matt Patricia and his status as a head coach here. We're going to also discuss the general manager, Bob Quinn, and is his job on the line. And then we're going to also talk about the Detroit Lions versus the San Diego Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers. Got to get used to that still. And a host of other things, as well as get outside opinions from people like JT Sports. Now that we got all the house mail out the way, people, let's get into it. And right off the bat, we're gonna start off with the most recent thing, which is the aftermath of that game. So let's just start off with with you, J-Mo, because I know you was in a very bad place after that game. So just tell me, how did you handle the tie after you had a little time to sleep on it?
Well, I'm probably, if everybody knows, I'm probably the most positive Lions fan out of everyone. No offense to anybody like that. But after that game, I'm the most negative. I'm like, trade Stafford to a better franchise. I'm like, cancel the season. Because, I'm outside of seeing my quarterback go out there and ball out and still lose. But, after I thought about it, I still was upset. I stuck with what I said. I'm like... Hey, remember, I thought about it. I slept on it, woke up, created the video, still set Stafford free. And because this is the problem. Stafford can go out and do that. We get a tie. And then we can go play the Chargers, lose the game. He throws 2 picks. And then all the fan base turns on. So it don't really matter what he do. You see what I'm saying? Right. Regardless, he's going to get criticism. But all in all, man, one thing about the tie that I know, it actually made me more confident for the Chargers game. What I think a lot of Lions fans don't realize is it happens all the time in sports, in any sport. We just choke the fourth quarter. It happens. We've seen NBA teams do it. We've seen NFL teams do it. Sometimes you just choke and you had a bad game, but that doesn't mean some of the things that your team showed that day can't be consistent or something to build upon.
Okay.
I think we showed a lot of things.
All right, and next up we're going, TA. I mean, I know you wasn't particularly thrilled with it. How did you handle, taking that loss? Now that you had a little bit of time to, to sleep on it and put it in perspective.
Well, I looked at it from this aspect. I looked at it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it hurt it, you know what I'm saying? Because you pretty much had a historic game from TJ Hawkinson, and then you can't play like how Matthew Stafford played. He played really well, man, and we still tied this game up. And you know what I'm saying? It was a lot of frustration, man. I was frustrated because I felt like the Lions should have went ahead and got that win. We were up by 18. We didn't put our feet on the gas pedal. And that's what happens, man. When you don't apply pressure, you know what I'm saying, on somebody and you ease up on them, this is what happens. They come back from an 18-point lead and able to tie it up. And luckily, you know what I'm saying, the game was tied and they didn't get the victory, because if they would have got the victory, man, you would have heard so much stuff about Kyler Murray. It'd have been crazy. The media would have been just lifting him up like he was the next king to come. You know what I'm saying? So, it hurt it from a fan standpoint, but I understand, like, basically like, okay, it hurt it, but now I got to move on. I got to go to the next game. Can't look at that anymore. But I hope that tie doesn't become that blessing and that curse to us. I just want us to be able to win, man. And that's what we have to go out and do on Sunday against the Chargers. We still got to be able to go out there and win. We still got to shut the naysayers up, because they're still there. Until the Detroit Lions start winning football games, then the naysayers are always going to be hanging around the locker room.
Right. I mean, and I think that's fair points to have. I mean, I think you said it. You said it a lot. I mean, that many people are going to echo in terms of this team and stuff like that. And I was talking to General G. Berry again. Make sure if you have not, this man right here is going to be one of the newest Detroit Lions YouTubers out. And make sure if you have not, that you go and just simply click on his name in the chat and subscribe to him. The man knows his football. And we had a conversation on Discord where, he talked about the idea of us still winning the division. And it got me to thinking of it. And I gave him the best answer possible. The good teams can lose that first game, but it's how they respond in a second that matters. So make sure you subscribe to General G. Berry. But Mr. MicroMike, man, talk to me, man. How are you handling it now that you have a little time to sleep on it? The atrocity that was Sunday's tie and poor coaching. How are you handling it now?
Luckily, folks, my civilian job is at a hospital, and I nearly took a trip to the anesthesia room to see the anesthesiologist. I wanted to get some amnesia, just a little bit. No, but when I look at what took place, we waited all off season to finally get a W, and how fitting was it that it became one of the longest games of all time, it felt like, and it ends up being a tie. So we still did not get a W yet, and so we're waiting. But look, we got the San Diego Chargers coming up. I've already moved on from the Arizona Cardinals. I just hope it's a wake-up call, and they realize, look, guys, no team is going to be easy. We're the Lions. We got a lot of talent, but we got to stop killing ourselves, stop shooting ourselves in the foot, because that's how you lose, and that's what's always happened to Detroit. So they seen that. Hopefully it slapped them in the face, and now they can move forward and take on Phillip Rivers and take out those Chargers, man, at home.
I mean, now, the one person who's on there who is not even tied to the Lions, Mr. JT Sports himself, he's a Steeler fan. So he's going through his own little trauma right now. But when you saw that game, because he was one of the people who kept saying, like, look out for David Johnson, look out for David Johnson. And I was like, I'm not worried about David Johnson. And David Johnson really did make a difference in his ability to run and catch the ball. So hats off to him for calling it and saying that, yeah, this is the guy that they're going to try to use. I mean, they held him down for the longest, but at the end of the day, it wasn't that. But even you, JT, when you watched that game, what were some of your thoughts that you had?
My thoughts was like, I I knew this game was going to be close. I was saying it all week. People called me crazy, but the reason why is because I wanted to see what this effect of the air raid offense was going to have on the Detroit Lions defensive line. Because the thing with the air raid is like it's spreading guys out wide and things like that. And when I noticed when Chip Kelly, when he came in with the spread offense, it kind of affected the conditioning of the opposing team's defense. So I was trying to see were they going to be able to rotate guys and keep guys fresh enough for those guys to not really get fatigued into the fourth quarter. So then the fourth quarter comes around, and I'm thinking, okay, Detroit, Luke G was right. He proved me wrong. This game wasn't going to be close. Then all of a sudden, I click on MicroMike's on live reaction, and I just see this guy going absolutely crazy, man. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, Mike was heated.
Yeah,
Man, when I tell you, man, Detroit, I thought the game was over with. I changed and I was like, Kollman, wow, Larry Fitzgerald, this dude is about what, 100 years old?
Yeah.
Does not age. So I wasn't surprised the game was close, but I was surprised that Detroit wasn't able to pull it off because I just thought the defensive line would have a little bit more depth that they wouldn't end up getting that tired late in the game like that.
So for you, as an outside person looking in, you felt that they got gassed, is what you felt?
Yes.
See, I kind of looked at it a little bit different. I thought that the head coach did a very poor job of playing the game to win versus playing the game not to lose. And it's something I have heard since I was a kid, where I never understood it until I saw it. And coaches would tell me all the time that if you're going to play the game to win. And to me, that tells me that if the head coach understood the situation, he would understood that one more score, any score, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, ends the game. And when it was about 5 minutes and 51 seconds, almost 6 minutes on the clock, we had a 10-play drive. We threw the ball twice in there, but we threw it twice on third down because we were trying to run it and kill clock. And I'm like, this ain't that time. So after I had time to sleep on it, I had to go back to my notes and see all the good things that I had wrote down that I enjoyed. And that's why I went live yesterday to discuss it, because I wanted to bring it up. And I wanted to show people that not only did they do some things that was good, they did some things that we have to at least give them a little bit of respect for, and that was huge. So I'm with you. They did get gas, but it's because they coach put them in a very bad situation that they should not have been in the first place. And if that don't happen, we don't have a problem, with this in the first place. Now, before we go any further, because I want to try to kill two birds with one stone, in case you were wondering, what does it look like for the Pick'em leagues? Here it is. Right now, Broken Lion 69 has won week 1. And Kedrix, a guy who didn't even want to join, he literally was like, I'm going to stay on the sidelines. I'm not joining, right? He literally said that. And then he joins and he finished second because he probably lost the tiebreaker. So people, the tiebreaker matters. In third place, as you can see, 12th Man Pride is in third place. Luke G is in fourth. I probably lost a tiebreaker to him, more than likely. It happens. And so forth and so on. So I'll slowly go down so you can see where you rank. TA, you are number 11. So
wow.
So yeah, you down there. Not too far, but you down there based on tiebreakers. So those tiebreakers make a difference. Detroit Drew, fellow DSA members, number 18. MicroMike, you're 13.
Whoa.
13. Yeah. It's a rough day.
hey, I see though we got
It was a rough day in the office, man.
I was like, I'm not really overreacting to the first week though.
I'm just saying.
It just won.
I'm just saying. General G Berry, sir, you are number 15. So the Big Take is 21. CA3 Sports Talk is 23. And Dose of Dion, who literally missed the first game. He didn't even pick the first game. He comes in and falls in at 24 and it still did good with a 10-5 record. So that's still impressive. Marcus Landon is 26. JT, you are 27th. So you did something on that tiebreaker that didn't go well. Dr. Dirks is 31 with nine games correct, 6 of them wrong. You Can Hate Me Now is at 9. Ty is at 9. Detroit's on Big Will is at 9. He's 35. Detroit Legendary Sportscast is 36. J-Mo, you are 38.
Oh, J-Mo. No,
It's not like I said. It's the first week. I'm
just saying
it's all good. You know, we're gonna pop a break.
Lions lead is 40. Gunner Ghost is 43. He got 8 right.
Woo.
Tone Capone had a rough week. He has 7 right, 8 wrong. He's 45. Morgan Trice, who forgot to put his picks in, is 47. And Blue Jay had just joined, but he still has a chance to get in it. He is new, so it didn't really count. That is your rankings. Let's get back to our Alliance talk. I just wanted to show you guys that because I know that I was going to do it anyway, and I figured let me just kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and so I did. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the big question that's been on a lot of people's mind recently. Is Matt Patricia the right head coach? Okay, is he the right head coach for the Detroit Lions? We're gonna start off with you, 313 J-Mo.
Is he the right coach?
That's right. Is he the right head coach?
I don't know. How am I supposed to know? He hasn't shown me anything. I don't know. I would have to watch the season before I know if he's the right coach.
So you want to give him a little bit more time before you come to that conclusion?
Because I don't think you can come to that conclusion unless you really want him fired now. Then okay, then he's not the right coach to you. But you can't say he is the right coach because he hasn't shown anything that he is the right coach. So it's either that or saying that he's not. So to me, I don't know. I have to. I'll know if he's the right coach if he wins this Charger game and it's a blowout. That's okay. All
right. I mean, now what say you, Mike? I mean, do you feel like this is the right coach for this team?
Did you see the
what is wrong with y'all, man?
Let me see where we at.
I mean, it's not even nothing there.
It says time traveling MicroMike. Young me, I'll tell you the picks to make.
I just saw this. I literally just saw this. Time traveling MicroMike. Young me. I'll tell you the picks to make.
We had Luke J's son. Now we got time traveling.
They trying to say, Mike, you need prayer with these picks, man. Listen, they trying to help you out. He said he time travel for this.
I may need help for about.
Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. We got a lot of new people coming in. We trying to get this out to everybody, man.
Absolutely. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and notification, as well as everybody who's on this panel channel is linked in my description, so you can join any one of them. That includes JT Sports. His is in there. 313 J-Mo, MicroMike, Noble Sports Entertainment, and obviously you're on Lukegsfieldreview. So if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you do so. Morgan Trice, what up, though? So yeah, make sure you take care of that and get that squared away. But again, Mike, I know you we got time traveling you telling you to I mean this
he said keep him now. You ain't from the future, dog.
Who does this?
We got Nomis J in the building. What up,
Nomis J in the building.
What up, Nomis?
James the Kai.
Let me put this out there really quick. We have Nomis J in the building. Nomis J is 2 away from hitting a milestone of 400. Am I right? 400.
Yeah.
If you have not subscribed to Nomis J, simply click on that description in my chat and go to Nomis J and click on it, and you will be subscribed to him. Let's get him to 400 right now. But okay, Mike, but let's get it, man. Is Matt Patricia the right coach for this team?
We're about to find out. Look, he should have the way he played this last game way he coached this last game and last year, I gave him a pass last year because he was a freshman coach. He was young when it comes to being a head coach. He just got out of a Super Bowl. He didn't have all the pieces. I gave him a pass. However, this was the year I was not going to give him a pass. And so when he came out and mismanaged the game, specifically the last 5 minutes, it really, really frustrated me about his ability to be a head coach. Yes, he may be a great defensive coordinator, but it made me question at this point. However, the next couple of games is going to be vital. We have to win. We got to win. We have to compete. We have all the tools. Bob Quinn has set him up with a lot of pieces that he can utilize to turn and make this team be a competitor and win. If Caldwell could have beat the Arizona Cardinals, if Jim Caldwell got fired for what he did, then there's no excuse this year for Matt Patricia. He's got to show out, and hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. But if we go 0-4 and 1 or 0-3 and 1, something in that area, I could see him being fired before the bye week. But if we start winning some games, he's good.
No,
I mean, I can agree with that. You know, one of the things I look at with Matt Patricia is he has to be able to understand that your team is better than what some of the teams Jim Caldwell has had. I mean, you got a tight end. You can't even let's start with that. You got a tight end and you got a legitimate running back group. So, you know, he has to be better. He has to do better. And I think you hit the nail on the head. J-Mo, talk to the people. I mean, you know, I know
I was gonna say one thing with a lot of fans, and I know they ride with your coach. He's shown that he's a great defensive coordinator, a great defensive mind, but he hasn't shown that he's a good coach. Jim Caldwell was an average coach that couldn't run the ball and get us over the hump. But you know what he did? He beat every weak team I've ever seen him go against, except for the Cincinnati Bengals in 2017. Every weak team, we always won. And I'm just being 100. So I don't. This is Matt Patricia. He can't even beat the weak team. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, Jim Caldwell wasn't a good coach.
I mean, and I get it. I mean, but JT, I mean, you somebody on the outside looking in, and if you have not subscribed to JT Sports, man, make sure you check out JT Sports. It is linked in my description, and if it's not there, let me know. I can fix that. But it should definitely be there because I know I added it. But JT, as you know, you here as a independent, making sure you keep us in check. We don't sound like homers or we being biased. Do you look at this team and say, man, Matt Patricia is the right head coach for this team?
It's going to depend, man. So you got the Chargers this week, you got Philadelphia next week, and you got Kansas City, Green Bay, Minnesota. So those are going to be what looks to be 4 tough games. And I want to see what Matt Patricia does as a defensive coordinator. And well, with his defensive background in these games, because look, some guys really are just good defensive coordinators, and that's it. Some guys are just good defensive coordinators, and they're not really head coach material. And we've seen a bunch in the past where some of these defensive-minded coaches not really turn out to be good head coach material. So we're going to see in the next couple of weeks how good Matt Patricia really is. Like the next 4 games, specifically the Kansas City Chiefs game, I think that's going to be really, really big in determining if he's a good head coach or is he just a good defensive coordinator who had no business being the head coach. Because against Kansas City, you have Andy Reid, who is probably one of the best play callers that we've had in the NFL for the last couple of years. And I mean, you got Matt Patricia being a defensive-minded coach. So that Kansas City Chiefs game is probably the biggest game that I'm actually really going to be having my eyes on, because you have a lead offense and you have Andy Reid, an innovative play caller, versus Matt Patricia, who is a defensive guru. So I'm interested in seeing the chess match between those two teams, with Detroit Lions being good on the defense side of the ball and Kansas City being explosive on the offensive side of the ball. And also Tyreek Hill is going to be out that game as well. He's going to be missing a couple of weeks. So you take away that speed and you just got to worry about Mecole Hardman and Sammy Watkins. So to me, I know he has a couple of tough games, but I think that Kansas City Chiefs game is really what's going to make me be sold on Matt Patricia or not. What he does against a elite offense in a town like Patrick Mahomes, because Bill Belichick, when they played twice last year, he kind of got Patrick Mahomes rattled, started the game out a little bit slow. Patrick Mahomes ended up picking it up. But I want to see what Matt Patricia is going to be able to do against that Kansas City Chiefs offense. And if he can't find a way to kind of limit Patrick Mahomes and that Kansas City Chiefs offense, him being a defensive-minded coach, then I'm not really going to be quite sold on him, because I feel if you're a defensive-minded coach, you should be able to coach up that defense. Same thing I expect from Mike Tomlin. No reason why Pittsburgh he's a defensive-minded coach, and Tom Brady still finds a way to rape our secondary year in and year out. If you're a defensive-minded coach, you got to be good on the defense side of the ball.
Hey, JT, I would just say we had Aaron Rodgers in our for a long time, so we know how you feel.
Hey, that dude said, "Ain't no way." Hey, wait, listen. He got done with that. All I could do was give him the excellent, man. You know, hey, off rip. I mean, I get it. I totally understand. I do think that the response is what determines if he's the right coach for this team. For me personally, how he responds in game 2, game 3, game 4, going into that bye week tells me if he's going to be the right coach or not. And to me, that's huge. TA, I mean, do you think he's the right coach?
Well, I want to pump my brakes a little bit with Matt Patricia, because the thing of it is that it's simple as this. Matt Patricia, the Detroit Lions, before I start off with Matt Patricia, the Detroit Lions, we've been playing like musical chairs a long time with a lot of coaches, man. We've gone through so many coaches. I think that we as fans need to pump our brakes just a little bit, give the guy an opportunity. Let's see what he does for this full season. Before he goes on the hot seat, because I know a lot of people are ready to put him on there already. And I just think that we need to give him a little time and see what he does, because we know that he got excited about getting some of the guys that knew his system, guys like Trey Flowers that you did not see doing anything. And like Trey Flowers, man, we paying him a lot of money, and he really was null and void out there on the field. So we need him to produce. I mean, I know, Luke, we talked about a lot about getting pressures and stuff like that. I'm a guy, I want the pressure and I want the sack. So with Matt Patricia, basically, you know what I'm saying, we have to give him a little time. I'm with JT on that, you know what I'm saying? Let's see, can he beat some of these teams that are playoff contenders, you know, like Philly and the Chiefs and things of that nature, you know, because they're coming into that game without Tyreek Hill. Can we take advantage of that? Because we know that Patrick Mahomes is a really, really good quarterback, good and young quarterback. So, and Carson Wentz, who we're gonna have to go against too. So, man, we got our work laid out for us, man. We got the ground game laid out for us. So, me to say he's a bad coach or the right fit for us, I can't really tell you that right now. But I can tell you that I could tell you more about him mid-season. I would know more about this guy mid-season, because if he's not doing the things and being able to get the team in the right position to win football games, then of course he's going to be on the hot seat in the middle of the season. And I know he doesn't want that, and he wants to win, and we want to win as fans. So I'm going to say I'm just pump my brakes a little bit. I'm going to give him an opportunity, because you normally want to give a new coach anywhere between 2 and 3 years to try to turn the team around. And if they don't turn the team around, then you basically have to make a decision. Should we keep going on with this guy? Now, like, I'm going to give you an example, like Cincinnati, who had Marvin Lewis. You know, he had some seasons where he was winning, and he had some seasons where he was losing all the time, and they kept him for years.
Like
I'm thinking that like they would never get rid of him. You know what I mean?
Idiots. They're idiots.
Let me.
I was going to say,
he's right. He's right.
But I would agree. I would agree with what you're saying if Matthew Stafford wasn't your quarterback and you didn't have his roster. I'm sorry, you have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. There is no replace a bad apple with a bad apple. Oh, here's an apple, Jim Caldwell. Here's an apple, Matt Patricia. 2 bad apples. We can't just keep getting rid of these bad apples so quick. No, we need a good apple.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I do. That's what I'm saying. If Matt Patricia's like doesn't have a winning record a year, he has to go. How many years of Stafford are we going to waste?
Right. He
Like,
don't got
seriously.
any more years. You're right about that.
We don't want to
can't
see it
replace a
happen
bad
again.
coach with a bad coach. Like,
And look,
agree.
man, we wasted Barry Sanders. We wasted Calvin Johnson.
Right.
We cannot waste Matthew Stafford. He's got
TJ
talent.
We don't want to win.
dude has
if this
every
doesn't
passing
work out-
record in NFL history up until this point. Like, come on.
If this doesn't work out and they cannot win with Matt Patricia, and say they decided to go ahead and let him go, whatever they go after, it must be a proven champion as a coach, and they better spend the money to get it, because we're running out of time with Matthew Stafford. We know when it comes to quarterbacks in Detroit, if you ain't got a good quarterback, you suck. I've been around the Scott Mitchells of the world, the Dante Culpeppers, the McCowns, the Joey Harringtons, Garcia, you name it, man. I've seen it all. And this guy is
Charlie Batch.
Batch.
Orlovsky.
Oh, man.
How many quarterbacks we had, man? Joey Harrington.
Right. We were like the Browns when they had like 23 quarterbacks in like 10 years of some ridiculous stat. It was like that, man. And we need to win. So hopefully he can win and he get his stuff together. But if we do, we go 0-4, 0-4-1, whatever the really bad record that is, he's got to go, in my opinion.
And I agree with Jay. I agree with what J-Mo says. And then when you look at it, like, how long are you really willing to wait for Matt Patricia to come around? Because look at all the success these first-year head coaches have been having. Look at
Sean McVay.
Look, Sean McVay went to playoffs first year. A lot of people said nobody was expecting that. The head coach of Tennessee, Mike Vrabel, they went 9-7 last year, barely missed the playoffs. Last year, Matt Nagy took Chicago. Nobody expected Chicago to go to. You have Mitchell Trubisky as your freaking quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky, and I mean, despite how people feel about him, man, I mean, as a first-year head coach, Matt Patricia second-year head coach, Matt Patricia has the talent, man. I mean, the narrative that you have to wait years and years and years. I mean, teams now, you have to win now. And especially, that's why Green Bay had to get rid of their head coach, Mike McCarthy, because he was wasting Aaron Rodgers' prime. And plus they had to give Aaron Rodgers a defense now. So now, they have to win with Aaron Rodgers. With Matthew Stafford, he's elite. He's a good quarterback. You guys know how I feel about him. I won't call him elite, but he's a good quarterback. But I mean, you have to be able to win. You have the team to win this division. I mean, every team has a couple of holes. But what separates the good coaches from the average coaches and the elite coaches from the good coaches are their ability to scheme around some of the holes that they have and still be able to win games. Everybody's going to have injuries. Everybody's going to be banked up. The question is, how are you going to be able to game plan around those injuries and be able to win games, man? So, I mean, with Matt Patricia, man, I agree with what J-Mo says, man. We don't – in the NFL now, it's win now. You don't want to wait into the future to win later. You don't want to try to tank and get a better team because you have to win. The window to win for Detroit right now is now because Matthew Stafford could be like Andrew Luck. He already played with like a broken back or something last year, so he could be like, next season he'd be like, "Buffett, I'm just going to go ahead and retire, man." So you have to be able to win now. It's Detroit's window and time to win now. You just can't wait and keep waiting. I mean, how years you want to wait, man? Eventually, he's going to retire.
It's been 6.
No, that's what I've been saying. Like, if we have another losing season, Matthew Stafford could be like, I'm retiring, and he's been sacked 40 more times than Andrew Luck been in the league. Go ahead, Luke.
No, I'm just listen. Hey, man, y'all wasn't listen. I was just enjoying it. You ain't had to. I was enjoying it. I'm looking like, hey, let me sit back. I'm just gonna listen. Y'all was in rare form. That's why I was like, finish him. You know, hey. You say what now?
Can I respond to George Morgan real quick? Matt Nagy was a big reason. Coaching was the reason. Mitchell Trubisky in his rookie season had a 31.6 QBR rating. He was literally one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. He went from a 31.6 quarterback rating, one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, to the Pro Bowl with the second best quarterback rating in the NFL last year. And you telling me that's not coaching? Mitchell Trubisky was an absolute disaster with John Fox as their head coach. Mitchell Trubisky with their head coach and Matt Nagy, that was a coach. Even though the defense was good, Mitchell Trubisky got coached up by Matt Nagy, man. He is better under Matt Nagy than what he was with John Fox. And when you look at his development from year 1 to year 2, you cannot, no way possible, tell me that wasn't just the Bears defense. I mean, the Bears defense won them games, but they don't forget, Chicago got in a couple of shootouts last year as well, man. So, I mean, that offense showed up in a couple of those games. And when you look at what Mitchell Trubisky was before Matt Nagy got there, a lot of people forget Mitchell Trubisky only started 1 year of college football. He's inexperienced. He's still raw. And the fact that Matt Nagy was able to get him to the playoffs with that quarterback being raw, I mean, that goes to show how good the coaching is. You can talk about the offense was garbage. Just watch him fall off. He's not going to fall off completely, man. When you look at
Trubisky isn't that good though.
But I mean, you don't have to have an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl, though. And
no, that's facts. That's facts.
And when you look at some of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, like Drew Brees and Tom Brady and Jared Goff, people always call them system quarterbacks.
Jared Goff is not a top quarterback. Let's keep
elite. No, I'm just saying players that
he didn't have a bad season though either.
No, he's not okay. He's not calling Jared Goff elite. He was elite last year.
Saying, like, if you have a quarterback who's been in the same system for a while, he tends to be very solid, and he's able to develop a lot better. Because when you're in that same system, you get familiar with it. Versus Marcus Mariota going through this is like his 5th season with a different offensive coordinator. So stability helps a young quarterback in his development.
Well, we think of Mitch Trubisky, but I mean, he was better under Matt Nagy.
Hey, listen, listen, that man, you boys on fire tonight. Lord Jesus, where you been all my life? What happened? Listen, let's be honest. We got 81 people in the chat. We got 40-some thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up. Also, keep in mind, Nomis J is 2 away from 400. Let's get him above 400 tonight. Make sure you go in my description and subscribe to him. Also, MicroMike is 10 away from hitting the 800 mark. So let's go ahead. If you have not subscribed, go in my description. You will see MicroMike's name with his channel link. Go in there, subscribe. Everybody on this panel knows their sports. There's no joke about it. They are linked in my description. You want to be a part of it, and you want to make sure that you are not missing anything. So hit that notification bell as well. I mean, and we brushed on it to be honest with it. So as we start to move forward and we look at it as we start to work through this, because it's clear that Matt Patricia's on the hot seat, obviously. But the question becomes: should Bob Quinn's job be on the line if Matt Patricia don't work out? No. So we'll start that off with you, MicroMike. Should Matt Patricia's job be on the line Bob Quinn's job be on the line if Matt Patricia somehow don't work out here?
Look, what this guy has done with the cap of the Detroit Lions is something we haven't seen in a really long time. He is managing this cap just like a business. He is specifically picking players for what the system is run, and he is drafting great in the mid to late rounds. Look what we got just off the couple of rounds in the past couple of years. We get Bawden, who's now playing for us nearly on, seems like every offensive play, a 7th round pick. We get Kenny Galladay, 3rd round pick, who is a stud wide receiver. We took in Diggs, who is now our starting safety. I think he was in the 4th round. He drafted so well so far.
He didn't draft Diggs.
Oh, he did not draft Diggs?
Drafted Tracy Walker, though.
Yeah, he got Tracy Walker.
Tracy Walker. Excuse, that was definitely incorrect. He did get Tracy Walker then.
Yeah.
The individuals he did draft, like Taylor Decker, it was good initially, but it seems like after his injury, it just kind of screwed him up. He's never been the same. We got Davis, who, if we would have took the other linebackers before him, Foster, we would be in a lot of trouble. So right now, when it comes to the linebackers that was taken to him, he's doing very, very well. Talk about the free agents. He got Marvin Jones, who's done well. We did have Golden Tate. We traded him for a 3rd round pick last year. It just insane what he has done. So absolutely no way should he be fired. Definitely he should take responsibility if this coach does not work out, but no way with his ability of the cap, the managing the players and drafting. We haven't seen this in a long time, so he's doing a good job there, and that's what's most important.
Okay, and what say you though, J-Mo? You think Bob Quinn? Because I've heard this on the news. I've heard this on 97.1 The Ticket. I've seen it in newspapers where people are questioning if we should maintain keeping Bob Quinn if Matt Patricia doesn't work out here.
Idiots. I'm gonna start calling people out how I see it, dog. Like I'm sick of that. Like, I'm gonna give y'all 6 words and then go on to my point. 6 words: T.J. Hawkins, Jelani Tavai, Kerryon Johnson, and I dropped the mic. What are we talking about here? T.J. Hawkinson just had the greatest debut in NFL history for a tight end. What are we talking about? I don't care about the coach because his drafting is what's going to save this team, because after Stafford's gone, who's going to draft a quarterback? Some random guy that's not Bob Quinn? You really trust somebody else? I don't. And when I look at who's he's drafted, when I look at our cap, when I look at the fact that he's the first GM in Lions GM history, team been around for 100 years. He's the first GM in Lions GM history to give the Lions a complete football team, roster-wise. And that's what we have right now. Now, the man up top, he does deserve blame for that, but there is no way Matt Patricia, really? That's going to be Bob Quinn's downfall? Are we really talking about this? Because to me, you have, like, it's just like, what? It don't make no sense.
Right.
Did you see T.J. Hockenson on Sunday? What are we talking about?
He finished 7th in all receivers combined. That's tight ends and receivers. That's a total.
He was 7th. Like, what are we really talking? And then you saw Tavai. I didn't even bring up his older picks, like, Galladay and these other guys, and guys like Frank Ragnar. I didn't bring up those guys. Like, right. Did you see T.J. Hockenson yesterday? That's my answer to that question. Did you see T.J. Hockenson on Sunday? Like, what are we talking about?
All right, we got at one point we had 90 people in here. I only see like 50 something likes. Let's get those likes up, people.
Yeah, let's get those likes up, people.
And it allows for us to get a bigger platform. So you want this on a bigger platform where you can listen to this on any and everything. You got to get those likes up so we can get it out there to people so they can know what's going on over here. Now, TA. I mean,
yeah.
And TA will tell you we generally don't agree on much, but let's see where he go with this. TA. Should Bob Quinn be on the hot seat if Matt Patricia don't work out?
No, he shouldn't be on the hot seat, because I agree totally what J-Mo said. You know what I'm saying? The job that he's done, the talent that he's got in here, he's done an awesome job, man. And how he was able to use the cap space. This dude did a phenomenal job, man. And I just think that Bob Quinn needs to get that credit for that. And I don't think it needs to be like a package deal where you send both of them out together, because both of them was formerly of New England. You have to give the benefit of the doubt to the GM, and Bob Quinn has been doing his thing, man. I mean, I like the way he attacked free agency. He finally got Martha Firestone to come off some money. A lot of people thought she wasn't going to come out the money bag, but she came out that money bag. And now we just need the players to produce that they were able to spend the money on. The free agents that came in, we need them to produce out on the field now. But Bob Quinn, no, we keep him. We keep Bob Quinn because he's done an awesome job as being the GM of the Detroit Lions.
Okay. I mean, listen, I think you hitting the nail on the head for me personally. I think that at the end of the day, his job cannot be contingent upon too many factors. My biggest thing is going to boil down to Newsom. Newsom used to always have a lot of down years with Baltimore, but that man got all the best talent. You remember a lot of those players' names. You remember the Ed Reeds and the Haloti Nagatas and the what's the other dude named Terrell Suggs, the guy with all the gums. You remember those?
Yeah. Yep.
And so he did his part, but it comes a point where we have to start to say, if you get rid of one part, we could have it worse. And I keep on reminding these same fans, keep in mind, I'll say it again, keep in mind, a lot of these same fans are the ones who wanted Jim Leland gone. Now they can't stand the Tigers. The same fans are the same ones who wanted Larry Brown gone. Now you can't stand the Pistons, So you have to be able to say, okay, you're asking for things, you get it, and you still mad about it. That's why one of the things that I always told people, if your expectations were, the Lions were losing that game, what are you mad about? They didn't lose and they certainly didn't win. So you should be happy. And if your expectations were like mine, where you expected to see them come out and dominate because you see the talent that they have, then yeah, you should be upset and frustrated. But it's absolutely one of those things where you have to look at it and say, did they meet the standard that was set by what they put out there? And for many of us, it was a no. But again, that brings me to my next question, and I'll start this off with you, JT. As we move past this debacle of a game from Arizona, and we look forward to the Los Angeles Chargers, how do you see the Detroit Lions going out there to attack this team?
Well, It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. This is a Chargers team that has a lot of depth at literally every position. A lot of people were talking about Derwin James being absent, but I already told people they have a lot of depth at that safety position. Rashawn Jenkins actually played very solid in that safety position until Derwin James comes back. So, I mean, whoa. Okay, so, all right. So the thing is, with the LA Chargers, I think a weakness in their team is their linebacker position. I don't think their linebackers are bad, but I don't think their linebackers are good in coverage. So, with the way TJ Hawkinson exposed Arizona's linebacking core last week, I'm expecting him to do the same versus the LA Chargers. Now, although they're going to have a little bit better safety help than what they had last week, I still think that TJ Hawkinson is going to be a big factor in this LA Chargers game. And if they win this game, they're going to have to be able to get TJ Hawkinson the ball. And they're also going to have to give Kerryon Johnson, he's going to have to get going. And also, this is a LA Chargers team that's good against stopping the pass. And since they're built to stop the pass, I don't think they're that good when it comes to stop the run. When it comes to stopping the run, I think they're more of an average team in that department. And then for the Detroit Lions on the defense side of the ball, I mean, a lot of people are just saying take away Keenan Allen, stop the run and things like that. But I mean, that's a lot easier said than done because this LA Chargers team has a very good offensive line, a top 10 offensive line in the NFL. And then you also got to worry about Hunter Henry as well. Who's going to be able to stop him? I mean, the linebackers kind of struggled stopping David Johnson last week. So you're going to have to be able to stop Keenan Allen, and you also got to worry about Hunter Henry as well because Hunter Henry, I mean, he had 60 yards, 4 catches last weekend, like his first official regular season game back. And then a lot of people just think just because they don't have Melvin Gordon that the Detroit Lions going to have an easier time winning this game. Let me guys tell you something. The LA Chargers are 6-0 without Melvin Gordon playing. They beat some tough teams. They beat Indianapolis, who, believe it or not, I still think is going to be able to win that division because Deshaun Watson doesn't have an offensive line. And then also they beat Kansas City without him, and they beat Pittsburgh without him at Pittsburgh. So, I mean, they're 6-0 without him for a reason. That just a lot of people just look at halfbacks and things like that, but people don't look at the offensive line who they have blocking for them. And that's a big thing that people fail to realize is how good the guys blocking up front are. And that's like the same thing with Pittsburgh losing Le'Veon Bell. I mean, Le'Veon Bell is a great player, but let's not overlook the fact that he had 2 All-Pros and 4 Pro Bowlers on that offensive line blocking for him. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough task for the Detroit Lions to beat the LA Chargers, but it is some holes that they can attack in this LA Chargers team.
Okay, I mean, listen, I hear you. I mean, for me personally, I think we share some of the same things in terms of saying that they're gonna have to attack on using those same tight ends. This should be a game where both our tight ends definitely eat. But I also look at it and I say, to me, it's not a matter of Melvin Gordon that's the issue for the Lions fan. Their best weapon in Derwin James on defense is missing. And when I watched the Colts the Colts were able to expose that secondary by being able to attack them using T.Y. Hilton. And to me, we have to be able to expose that secondary too with our receiving core. Danny Amendola can't have no more brain fart standing in bounds when he need to get out. He needs to understand the situation. The coach needs to have the team prepared to understand the situations and have them going out in a way that makes sense. So for me, I definitely think that's one of the ways that they're going to have to go out there and attack. In terms of the defense, I do believe that it's not a matter of stopping Keenan Allen as much as it is stopping the run and not letting Hunter Henry get off. But we'll say UTA. I know that this is one of the things that that you're going to look at closely because it's about that response from game one. So what say you, and how do you see the Lions attacking the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers?
Like we're going to be doing that for the next 4 years.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
It's hard. San Diego my whole life, man. Come on.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I always forget that too, fellas. That is LA. I'll be saying San Diego still. But yeah, man, how I see us attacking is doing what we supposed to did last week. Pretty much go out and play some smash mouth football, run the football, allow Kerryon Johnson to get at least 20 touches, man, out of that backfield. We gotta give him more touches, man. And I say keep using TJ Hawkinson because he's going to be a mismatch again in this game. You know, whoever is covering him, he's going to be a mismatch, and I definitely think that one of our wide receivers like Kenny Golladay or Marvin Jones can have a good day and an exceptional day against these guys. But we gotta be the thing with the Detroit Lions is we have to be able to execute. We don't execute well. We don't stick to our game plan. We always change up in the games from our game plan. Keep doing, if something is working for you, you have to keep doing what's working. That's what the New England Patriots do. They do what you allowed. Whatever you give up, that's what they're going to take. So Tom Brady, he's going to dink and dunk you the whole game because you're allowing him to. If you learn how to stop him, then you don't have to keep going and facing that same thing. And I think that's the same thing with the Detroit Lions. We have to execute. And we have to be able to stick to our game plan that we want to run the ball. We've been talking about this all season, Luke, that we basically want to run the ball. We want to run the ball, don't shy away from it, run it. You know what I'm saying? Matthew Stafford shouldn't have to throw the ball 45 times a game. We want to have that balanced attack. That's what we want to establish, and we got to go out there and do it. And I think that for us, in order for us to beat them, we are going to have to play exceptional on defense as well, because those guys, every time we've gone against Keenan Allen, he has carved us up, man. He has played well against us, and we got to be able to slow him down and the running back Austin in the backfield because he had a phenomenal game backing up Melvin Gordon. So I just think that we need to execute from the standpoint of going out and imposing our will on the team.
Okay. I mean, and I think you hit on a lot of very good points, and I think that it stands to reason that makes sense. And I know many people is looking like they're agreeing with you on in terms of where we need to be. Mike, I mean, and for you, how do you see us attacking them? How do you see us getting at, the Chargers to let them know, like, okay, what you saw week 1 was just a sample?
The way we need to attack and address is, because this is my fear, Bosa versus Decker. So we need to attack and throw a tight end and get some help on that side, because he is going to have a field day if there's anything close to what we saw here. So my plan of attack is protecting Stafford and throwing, if TJ Hawkinson has to do a lot of giving Decker some help in this game, I'm all for it, man, because Bosa is a beast and Decker is a least. So when you put those two combinations in there, it spells trouble. So plan of attack, protect Stafford, help Decker.
Yep, I agree with that, Mike.
Look, I'd rather put Jesse James there. I need TJ Hawkinson in the passing.
Hey, that works for me. They just need to get someone there. That's my plan.
hey, so you said, Mike, so you basically saying he needs help over there.
No, he definitely needs help. This is not no joke. We know this.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest though, people. Let's be honest. And before I go any further, please make sure, I repeat, please make sure that you hit that thumbs up, get those likes up, people, so we can max out. I lost track of the number. That's on my fault. But let me see. We are at 83. So let's keep it going. If you have not hit that thumbs up, make sure you hit it. And if you have hit that thumbs up, give me a thumbs up in the chat and let me know you still with us and you still rocking with us and you still on board for what's going on here. But I want you to do that. Also, make sure that you go over to Nomis J. His channel is linked in my description. He is 2 away from 400. Let's get him over that 400. We have Mr. MicroMike, who is 10 away from 800. Let's get him over to 800. It is also linked in my description. On top of that, we have JT Sports, who was, gracious enough to come on the round table and rock with us. He is trying to get his subs up. Make sure you subscribe to him and TA of No Sports Entertainment, as well as 313 JMO, and obviously me. So make sure you definitely hit those up and let us know that you're still with us and you're still rocking with us. Also, if you have not, I repeat, if you have not had a chance, make sure that you go to this man name, click on it, because he is going to be one of the newest Detroit Sports Lions talking YouTubers out there, and the man knows his sports. So just simply click on his name. It'll say go to his channel if you're on your phone, tablet, computer, whatever, and subscribe to him. Also, we have Dr. Dirks in the building. He is also a Detroit Lions YouTuber. Make sure you go and subscribe to him as well and show the support to all those people who are, going to be hard at work trying to get you news and information for the Detroit Lions. But let's be honest about this, people. In terms of of us attacking them, we also got to take into account how do we see them attacking us. And one of the things that I see when it comes to the Chargers attacking us is them trying to find ways to do what we did with TJ Hockenson with Hunter Henry. And we have to find a way to shut it down. Now, if you have not heard, former safety of the Green Bay Packers, Josh Jones, is visiting with the Detroit Lions. And I suspected that he would be a guy that the Lions would target. I also suspected that the Lions would target Obi. Might help me out, folks. What?
Obi Melifonwu.
How you pronounce his name?
Obi Melifonwu, I think his name is.
Obi Melifonwu. Okay. I mean, I know he's 6'4", and I said that if he gets cut or released or put up for trade, the Lions will look at him. Well, he was cut as well as Lance Kendricks, the tight end from New England, to make space for Antonio Brown. Do not be surprised if they go after him as well. So just wanted to make sure I put that out there. But let's talk about it though. J-Mo, how do you see the Chargers getting at us to win this game?
Well, first I gotta talk about how we're gonna attack the Chargers.
Oh, my bad. My apologies. Go ahead.
Yeah, dude, there's one guy that we have to stop, and I don't care about no Hunter Henry. I don't care about no Keenan Allen. We stop this guy, we win the game. His name is Austin Eckler. This dude is a different breed. Melvin Gordon, you lost your job. I'm dead serious. This dude is amazing. I'm just being honest. He's amazing. Austin Eckler is a great runner of the football, and he is a dynamic in the passing game. He has 6 catches for 96 yards passing. 8 rushes for 60 yards running. Like, this dude is special. Melvin Gordon is gone. Like, that's why they 6-0, JT, because you got Austin Eckler. And their other running back, Justin Jackson, is very good. So to me, we have to stop these running backs, because I think Hunter Henry, definitely, that's something that could expose us, but I don't think that can beat us. These running backs, they will beat us. And I don't think Keenan Allen will beat us. You put Darius Slay on him, I'm not worried. But they do have other good receivers, and I don't think their offensive line is as good as JT was saying. They gave up 4 sacks to the Colts, and the Colts really don't have any elite pass rushers at all. I think we can expose them there. And then the last thing, we got to get pressure on Phillip Rivers, and we have to stop Austin Eckler. I'm telling you, like, this dude, maybe nobody knows who he is. This dude is for real. And the Chargers attacking us. Well, I was just saying it. I think they're going to use their running backs out of the backfield to attack us, and I feel like they're going to be looking at that Arizona film to help them scheme that, because both of them running backs out the backfield are just very, very hard to cover. I definitely think they will try to put like Hunter Henry on a rookie like Jelani Tavai or somebody like Jalen Reeves-Maybin to try to expose them. But I think we can deal with it. It's just about running the football with Kerryon Johnson. We're going to win this game. If it's the same game plan from Arizona, only difference that we have to have is Kerryon has to have a good game. Kerryon had a good game, Arizona, we win. Let's just be honest. He didn't have a good game. He struggled. That's true. We know I'm not blaming him because the line blocking was horrible for Kerryon. But if he has a good game, we come up with that same game plan, because can't none of the linebackers cover TJ Hockenson. You can throw it in the trash. They can't cover him. So use TJ and run the football, and we'll be okay.
Okay. Now, how do you? But for you think our biggest thing is we got to shut down Elkers. We got to shut that running back down.
We have to shut down Austin Eckler. I'm telling you, because he will tear us apart all day.
Okay. I mean,
listen, I know how their offense work.
Listen, I ain't even mad at you, man. If you had to say something crazy, I'd give you the referee whistle. So you doing good so far. I ain't mad at you. Ain't no love lost on this end. I mean, but again, it's one of them things where you just have to look at it and say, okay, how are we getting here? How are we getting here to this point? And I think Mike touched on it when saying that we got to keep Bosa and Melvin Ingram away from Decker, or Decker needs to, how you said, show up or ship out, or it was something to that effect. Y'all know I botch stuff up, including names, so don't judge me. But I'm just saying it's one of them things where it needs to happen. But it brings me to my next question, which is, and we'll jumpstart this off with you, Mike. Do you think the Detroit Lions will actually, or let me rephrase it. Do you think we'll get a chance to see linebacker Jared Davis and defensive end / D tackle Deshaun Hand in this game? And if we do you think we even need them for this game?
Dude, this is going to be a difficult one, but I'm going to go ahead and say yes for Davis. He wanted to be on that field Sunday. He's really anxious to get back. He's doing everything he can to be healthy. I think we do need him for sure. Look, this is not going to be an easy game. Chargers are a great team, and you got to get your best players out there. So if he is able to go, it's a go. Deshaun Hand, it's the same situation. I don't think he will make it, just because I think the injury is going to be just a couple more weeks. But if he is healthy, we definitely need him. Deshaun Hand was a beast last year, best defensive tackle rookie that we've seen in the NFL last year. And he's going to take the next step this year. So if he's healthy to go, please God. But if he is still dealing with an injury, nah, man, we need you for
pray for it. I hear you.
We need you for down the stretch, and we don't want the injury to keep coming back where you're in and out like Ziggy Ansah. We just want them healed, and if they're good to go, they're good to go.
Okay. Now, quick question. I want to answer this quick question from Abdul Terrell. He says, my question is, did we expose to the rest of the NFL that if they go up tempo, you can tire out our defense, or will adding Davis and Hand help with that? No, I think what you saw is the same thing that happens to any defense. When you up tempo many defenses and they try to get them out, it doesn't work. So if you go and look at like Jim Schwartz with the Eagles, when he's a defensive coordinator, he rotates a lot of defensive linemen in on different downs because he wants them to always be fresh so they can go at their best. And if you go to the Dallas Cowboys, I know y'all don't like me to say that name on here, but if you go to them and you look at Rob Marinelli, the only coach in the Lions history to go 0-16, if you look at that guy, he does the same thing. So this is just something that happens across the league with all teams. If you can speed it up and not get them a chance to sub in players, you're going to force them to burn timeouts, and it will get them tired. But in terms of Jared
I
Davis,
do think if Jared Davis was playing, we wouldn't have lost that game, though. That's just my personal opinion. And I know Jelani Tavai was amazing, but I think we needed his speed to get some of those sacks and stop some of those runs on David Johnson, because he the one who stopped David Johnson the last time we played.
Okay, well, I can tell you this much. I mean, and JT, you, like I said, you the outside person coming here to be the voice of reason, and so we don't look like we just being biased. You know, do you think the Detroit Lions will play Jared Davis and Deshaun Hand? And if you do you think we even need him to win this game?
You definitely do, because I think Gerard Davis could end up stopping a guy like a Hunter Henry, because you need, let's face it, I mean, you want your best players on the field. You can never have enough good football players. And I think having those guys gives the Detroit Lions a good chance to win this game. And let's face it, Detroit, against a very good Chargers team, you're going to want all the help that you need, man. So I think they definitely want those guys to play that game. Like you said, I think if Gerard Davis played in that Cardinals game, I think he would have been able to help win that game for the Detroit Lions. And also, I really like the leadership that he provides also. So I think he's going to be, you definitely want your best guys playing in a game like this. This is a very big game, especially when you're looking at Matt Patricia as well. You want your best players on the defense side of the ball on the field in a game like this.
Okay, I totally get it. I mean, now what say you, TA? I mean, do you think we're going to need Jared Davis and Deshaun Hand and to win this game? And do you even think they play? I mean, if at all, let alone need them?
Well, yes. For number one, I agree with JT on that. Yes, you need them, but at this present time, next man up. We're gonna have to. We're just gonna go out there. I mean, we got to get these. See, this is what we've been talking about, guys. We talked about depth through the whole offseason. We talked about the Lions' depth. This team got depth. This team got depth. We got plenty of depth. Now, this is where you get to see the depth guys at, because when guys get injured, you can see other guys come in and fill in and see what these guys are capable and doing out there on the field. So I definitely think that like JT said, you want to have your best guys out there. If they're ready to go, yes, put them out there. But at the same time, you want to see the depth, because you may need this depth towards the end of the season, because guys are always getting hurt and they're in and out of the rotation. So this is where you're going to see where the depth is at, when you start seeing guys missing, guys that are starters anyway, and the guys that are rotating in for them. How good are they backing these guys up? And I think that Jelani Tavai did an awesome job, man, especially being a rookie coming in and and just making his presence felt out there. I thought he did an exceptional job, especially on the play that he was able to blow up the backfield and get right back there and make a play. That's the type of stuff that you like, and you want to see that constantly. But you're going to war with a team that made the playoffs last season. See, a lot of teams that we're about to play right now, these teams made the playoffs. So you're definitely going to have to bring your A game, and you would want to have the most talented players out on the field. But right now, this is where we get to earn our paychecks. We get to find out where the depth is on this team, because we've been talking about it so much, and I know the fans been hearing us talk about, oh, we got depth. Now this is the opportunity for guys to step up and guys to make plays. Time to make plays out there on the field.
No, but when we were talking about depth, what position groups were we talking about? It wasn't the linebackers.
Nope.
No, we're talking about depth overall. You know what I'm saying? Just on the team.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't replace Jared Davis unless you got another Jared Davis.
No. Well,
like that's
Jelani Tavai.
Like I say, he's great, but if he's playing with Jared Davis, he might be otherworldly. That's my point.
And I think the thing that many of us don't see is with Jared Davis in the lineup, you now free up Jelani Tavai to do different things. And they attempted that by putting other people in at the inside linebacker and moving Jelani out to outside to rush opposite of Devin Kennard. But what was happening was they was gashing us up the middle, because guess what? We didn't have an inside linebacker who can hold it down. They had Jalen Reeves-Maben playing that inside linebacker, and you got to know how to take on them big boys. Jalen Reeves-Maben is a weak side linebacker who needs to move around in space, and so those little things makes a difference. So I do think he will help the defense a lot in that department. So
I mean, I don't know if I think he's gonna play. But see, this is my problem. I don't know if he's healthy enough. You know how players can put themselves out there, because we already talked about this before, Luke. Like, I thought Jared Davis was one of those guys, especially after seeing that. He I'm playing and you're not gonna stop me. So I definitely think he's gonna play in this game. Like, I don't see him missing this game, but I don't know if I'm not gonna say we don't need him, but I feel like this is a game, believe it or not, our offense should be able to win us this game. And that's just the way I feel about it, because I think we have a lot of things that we can exploit on the Chargers, from the safeties to the linebackers and just running the football. A defense, I think, is the best unit on the entire team, but I think this is one of them games that I think our offense can win us, and we shouldn't have to depend on guys like Jared Davis.
Okay, now we have 9 away from 800. So if you have not subscribed to MicroMike, his channel is linked in my description. Make sure you subscribe to MicroMike. Everyone you see up here talking right now, as you can see, their names are listed in the chat. You can see their names up there right now. You can see the ones who's talking and so forth and so on. Make sure you go in and you subscribe to their channel. He is 9 away. Also, make sure that you subscribe to Nomis J, who is 2 away from 400. So we're trying to get people to break records around here, and you can be the reason the record is broke, and that would be awesome. Now, just to switch gears, and I'm gonna pick this up with you, JT. Because one of the things that I have to put a little attention on is expectations, and I'm a big believer in expectations. So right at the gate, what improvements do you expect to see from Matt Patricia and this coaching staff versus the Chargers?
Well, first things first, hopefully they don't get dotted up against Phillip Rivers like how Kyler Murray did in the fourth quarter, because Jesus Christ, man, dude was on the freaking roll, man. It looks like he could do no wrong. This dude attempted, before halftime, he was 7 of 24, I think it was. Then the full quarter, this dude went absolutely berserk, man. So
prevent defense do that. Losing teams who want to lose a game. I'll show you how to lose it. Go into prevent defense.
Yeah, I agree. The Jaguars do the same thing when they're up. So
hey, ironically, what's his name? Houston lost yesterday because of that
prevent defense. You want to see a losing team?
Houston lost because they did that. So that's just fact. Right?
And I think when you do that, I think in this game. Here's the thing, right? What Matt Patricia has to do. You're telling you guys you're just coming off of a tie. First, you want to get the guys motivated in this game. These guys have to come out in this game with an absolute purpose. Basically, the next 4 games, playoff mode starts now for the Detroit Lions. These are tough opponents. Playoff mode now starts now for Detroit. You got to look at it. You got to look at the next couple of weeks like you're in the playoffs. Because look, Detroit, if they lose these games, they're going to have a hard time getting back into the playoff chase, man. So they have to win at least 3 out of the next 4 of these games. So Matt Patricia has to get these guys fired up. They have to be able to run the ball with Kerryon Johnson, not just because I have him on my fantasy team, but also because that keeps the LA Chargers.
How you did that? Not because I have him on my fantasy team, but that's. I mean, it's not a bad idea to do. It's not a bad idea to do it.
I mean, and the Lions are undefeated when Kerryon has a good game, but you know.
And then also they have to be able, when you do that, you keep the LA Chargers offense off the field, because we know the Detroit Lions defense is good, but I mean, they're not going to be facing Kyler Murray back there. You're going to be facing Phillip Rivers. And I mean, Phillip Rivers, he's a good quarterback. So I think it's very important that they're able to establish the run game, control time possession, tire out that defense. And also, this defense isn't really equipped to stop the run. This is a defense that's really equipped to stop the pass. So if this defense is able to stop the run for Detroit and you start teeing off those pass rushers, then Detroit might have a problem there. And also, let's not forget that this is the same offensive line that let Terrell Suggs have 2 sacks against them. And I know Terrell Suggs is very good and things like that, but Terrell Suggs is really, really old. So anytime a guy of that age is getting 2 sacks, I have a little bit of concern there. So if they're able to run the ball, keep that offense off the field, I think they're going to be able to win this game. And also on the defense side of the ball, I mean, they have to be able to find a way to get pressure on Phillip Rivers, which they should. And you also got to be able to stop Keenan Allen, but also you got to be able to contain Hunter Henry as well.
Let me tell you this, JT, and pardon me for interrupting, but let me tell you this, JT. The difference between this game and the first game is we knew that Kyler Murray had mobility. Who is Phillip Rivers out running? You know, they went into a prevent defense and played quarterback contained down that stretch, and that's how that's what I call playing not to lose versus playing to win. But when you go to this game, you should be teeing off on Phillip Rivers, even though he's pretty decent against the blitz. You should be teeing off on this guy at every step of the way. Also, we have 92 people in the chat. Let's make sure we get those likes up. If you have not hit that like button, that thumbs up button, please do so right now. Hit that notification bell so you can know that when the videos post. Hit the subscribe button as well, because I do keep my content going as well as most people in the DSA. We are working hard out here in the streets. So make sure you go in and you subscribe. We have Mr. MicroMike, who is literally 9 away from hitting his milestone of 800. We have Mr. Nomis J, who is 2 away from hitting his milestone of 400. So make sure you get that done. And I believe you too, J-Mo, you're only like 10 away from your milestone too of 7?
Yeah.
So 313 J-Mo's 10 away from hitting 700. So make sure you go and check out their channel. It is linked in the description. And if you're not sure who is who, I'll remove the tag off the screen so you can see who's who.
I just like what Ludell Wesley just said, because I said this in my video. He was like, both teams shouldn't have won in the overtime, talking about the Chargers and the Lions, and they mirror each other. Yeah, the only difference between us and the Chargers is they won in overtime. Because the Colts shouldn't even been in that game, but Phillip Rivers threw a horrible fourth quarter pick. But as JT was saying about stopping the pass, I don't think Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones are going to have good games this game. You're going against Casey Hayward and whoever's on the other side. I can't remember his name, but he's good too. Casey Hayward's one of the best corners in the league. Kerryon is going to have to play well if you want to win this
game. Yeah, and the biggest thing is that I really want to see from this game is I want to be able to see I want to see our receivers create separation. I don't know why they was not creating more separation. You said that right after I just said they wasn't gonna do nothing. I'm just saying it's just one of the things.
I'm just saying I don't expect them to do anything in this game. Like, they have some good defensive backs.
I mean, but listen, my expectations are high. I had them going 11-5. Obviously, my prediction is dead in the water. At best, they can go 11-4-1. But I still think they win this division. I still think they are in a position to bounce back, but it's going to boil down to how they respond. They have to respond in a way that makes sense. They can't just sit back and allow for these teams to come in and dictate how things are going to go. We have to be the ones to set the table, to light the candle and eat the meal. They can't keep doing this. And that to me is going to tell me where we are as a team. The response. That's everything. You know, it's almost like the kid that get bullied, and I can't stand bullies. So if you bullying somebody, karma is real. That's my message to you. But understand this. With the bully generally bullies people until the kid that's being bullied hits them in the mouth. See, the response that is met after the bullying is what changes the outcome. And I think that's what the Lions have to do. They have to have the appropriate response to what is going on. So again, it's just one of the things that I look at and I say, hey, we got to be able to come out and establish the line in the sand and make sure that they understand not to cross that line. So again, even with that, let's move into this one, because this is a question that I got blew up in my Discord about, and I had to put it in there. And I'm going to go through every single person, starting with you, Mike. Should the Detroit Lions move Decker to right tackle and Wagner to left tackle? Okay.
Well, you was asking Mike.
yeah, Mike. That's on me. That's my fault. TA, take it away. TA, should the Detroit Lions move Taylor Decker to the right tackle and then move Rick Wagner from right tackle to left tackle?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm listening. Let's talk about it.
No, we shouldn't move him. Keep him there and give him some tight end help. I think if you give him that tight end help, it might help him a little bit, because he has been struggling. He's been struggling in the preseason, and he's struggling right now. So I just think if you give him that help, whether it be Hockenson or Jesse James, I think he'll be fine. You don't want to switch those guys right now. Give him a little bit more opportunity to see, can he clean some stuff up? But right now he's looking horrible. So you just want to give him a little help out there on the outside.
Right. And I totally get it. It's one of those things where you have to be able to understand that it's not like Madden. You can't just plug and play people and the program says, oh, he should do good here. It doesn't work that way, in my opinion. I think, and I know people ask me the question, but I wanted to get the panel's opinion of it. Mike, do you think we should experiment with this line right now and move Decker over to the right and Wagner to the left?
No, and hell no. Look, you got to keep him on the right side. Just because a tackle is on one side, it doesn't mean they can just turn and flip on the other. He would probably be worse than Decker on the left side. And what he's doing right now is doing well on the right tackle position. You throw that off, that means he's probably going to really suck at the left tackle. And what are you going to do? Throw Decker on the right side? So to me, no, you absolutely don't do it. We just got to go ahead and look for more talent, whether it be a trade or players that are on the street, waiver wire, whatever it may be. I think that's the route we go, and go ahead and simply leave that idea off the chart, man. That makes no sense.
I mean, and it makes sense to me, from that standpoint. I mean, but what say you, J-Mo? Would you be willing? Because now I will say this. I saw it earlier, and I can't remember who posted, so I apologize. But they was talking about, is it too late to trade for Benito? Am I saying this right?
Joe Batonio or something like that.
Tony, see, I can't. Y'all know I'm bad with names. Don't kill.
Yeah, but somebody was saying that he was a guard though.
Right, but that makes sense, and I'm gonna tell you why. That makes sense.
You moved Joe Dog because apparently Joe Dog was the best lineman on Sunday out of the whole NFL. It's crazy.
I mean, and you got options too. But
I was gonna say a little correction. Taylor Decker was actually great in preseason. Him and Wagner didn't give up any pressure, so I thought he was gonna be better this year. But I was gonna say, do you want Matthew Stafford's career to end now? Like, do you want his career to be over this season? You really trying to put Rick Wagner where Taylor Decker is? Are you insane? Like, do you want Stafford to stop playing?
Pardon me, J-Mo. People don't realize that Wagner started out as a left tackle, was getting worked, and then they moved him to right tackle, and he got better. So,
like I said, I want Stafford to play the full season, so I'm not putting Rick Wagner over there. But Taylor Decker barbecue chicken on Sunday, okay? We know how it went, but I'm going to give him a chance and see what happens. If he gets beat one time, then he's getting help for the rest of the game. That's just the way I'm going to roll. Like, giving him help at the start of the game just because he had a horrible game, that's kind of, that can mess with the player's confidence. So let him try. You get beaten once, whether I don't care if it's Stafford getting sacked, I don't care if it's Kerryon getting sacked and hitting the backfield because you whipped on a run. You get beat, all right, yeah, we're going to have to help you. Sorry, Jesse James, but we're going to have to throw you over there and you won't be able to live up to that contract. But no, that would be a horrible idea. I mean, I'm kind of interested in putting Joe Dahl over there. I don't know what we're going to do, honestly, but I don't know if Joe Dahl can play left tackle, but I mean, he can play like every position on the line, can he? Supposedly,
I mean, they say that. They say because that's what he and
that's why I said supposedly.
And the comment, somebody just made it before I can even get it out. That's what he came in playing. That's why he was having a growing pain.
I want to put Joe Dahl out there. So apparently, Joe Dahl has been our best offensive lineman since he's been in starting.
Now, I don't know if this is true or not, real quick, but I see this comment and I went, what? It says, damn, Antonio Brown has been accused of sexual assault. Uh-oh.
Yes.
But all I'm gonna say, Robert Kraft is Teflon Don, so Patriots don't care about that.
All right, I'm just saying, it seemed odd to me that they would do it.
That's a low.
That's crazy. It's just too much stuff going on with Antonio. Right?
But here's the thing, though. I can tell you that media outlets will find stories even if they're not there. So, don't give them nothing to work with, and you ain't got to worry about becoming a part of the story. Ellen Jackson says, Luke G, who do you see out there that we can pick up a trade for left tackle? I think you're thinking in the wrong direction. It makes more sense for them to shore up another position and move somebody over to that tackle position. So if I can now go out and get a guard and move Dowell out to, say, left tackle, that solves the tackle problem. But I really think that there's no way that Decker can be that bad.
Yeah.
Hey, JT, y'all got any guards?
Man, Pittsburgh has one of the best. I'm
about to say Pittsburgh O-line is great. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but why you
Pittsburgh
has
a lot of. To be honest,
I'm trying to help my football team. I'm trying to be honest.
Pittsburgh, you want to go to Pittsburgh and New England, but if I was you, I would Pittsburgh. I would go to New England. New England has it. A lot of people say New England has the best offensive line coach in NFL history.
They do.
But that's I would they O-line though. And Matt Patricia
can coach anybody else. But see, like I said, he can what's his dude name? I can't remember his name, but he can coach up anybody. But I don't trust the offensive lineman unless you're like a proven Pro Bowler to be that good outside of the Patriots. I forgot. It was like 5 years ago they sent that dude to the Giants. I think it was Nate Solder. What did he do?
Yeah,
once he left the Patriots. And I know they sent another offensive lineman. I haven't heard from him since, so I don't really trust those Patriots guys. But I'll take an O-lineman from the Steelers, though. They got a great O-line. It's always great. So,
I mean, and again, to me, I can't do the Trent Williams because he can't stay healthy. If we're just going to pick up another player who can't stay healthy, we might as well have a cap. What's his name? Ziggy Ansah. I mean, so we have to be able to find people. We have to be able to find people who literally fit the scheme. And Trent Williams, may fit the scheme for 4 games. That's not acceptable. And you got to re-sign him. So where does that work at?
I do want to respond to what George Morgan said. He said if we win a playoff game with Jesse James, then he'll live up to his contract. I don't have any problem with the contract, but a lot of people do. So, and they like, when it comes to Jesse James, he might not really have that breakout of the season, but we paid him a lot of money, and a lot of people don't like that. But hey, TJ Hawkinson is just that good, man. What can you do?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that the idea is how do you measure the person, and it's how do they contribute to the overall success of the team. So that goes for Trey Flowers, that goes for Justin Kollman, that goes for Rashawn Melvin, that goes for who else? Mike Daniels. All those guys we picked up. You have to be able to contribute to the overall winning of this team. And if you don't, then yeah, we should have every right to say you didn't live up to your contract. It is what it is. I mean, but it's one of them things that I don't think that we really get. And I gotta believe that this is probably the absolute worst we're gonna ever see Decker play. I don't think this happens again. I just don't.
And it doesn't get easier, man.
We still, I would say, we still play Minnesota, right?
Well, right. I mean, yeah, but
and they sacked us 2 times last year, man.
you got to also understand that we do play Minnesota. That's the one team that I told you that scares me. But I also look at it from this standpoint. If by the time we play Minnesota, you ain't figured out how to keep the pressure off the edge from getting to us, then shame on you as a head coach, Matt Patricia.
Man, forget Minnesota, man. I mean, this week he has to. This week and next week and the week after that, you got Frank Clark with Kansas City, Philadelphia. Who's their D? They don't have no breakouts. They don't have no breakouts. But
JT, the reason I bring up Minnesota is it seems no matter what, they know how to sack Matthew Stafford. It's like they're masterminds at it. Like, I'm dead serious. They sack Matthew Stafford more than any other team. So
they broke the franchise record last year.
I think it might be because like they're divisional rivals, and the teams that you play in your divisions know you a little bit better because y'all play twice a year. And also, I mean, Minnesota is stacked. I mean, Minnesota is. I keep telling people I still don't get how they missed the playoffs. Well, the offensive line played bad, but I mean, this Minnesota defense has stars on top of stars on top of stars, man. So, I mean, they have a lot of guys on that defensive line that can really get after it. Plus, taking the fact they're a divisional rival. So, I'm not really surprised because y'all played them twice. So, I mean, you guys might have to switch something up, man.
No, we're going to have to.
Yeah, it's just something going to have to happen. You know, now, hold on. Wait a minute. What did it say? Sports Gaming Breakdown says Kenny Wiggins can play left tackle.
Hey, throw him out there, man. At this point,
here's my problem. I think it makes more sense to find another position and play around with it, but I don't know if I'm ready to be tinkering with the offensive line too much. I mean, yes, he had a bad game, but for the most part, the offensive line held up. I wish that they did a better job of establishing the line of scrimmage with the push on the run and opening those holes up a little bit better, but I don't know if I'm ready to start tinkering with it at this point. And, at this point for me, I feel like that's a little premature, and we definitely don't want to be that. So, it's just one of them things. Now, and JT, I know you talk about it, but I mean, this whole idea of moving players around like we playing Madden, I mean, good idea, bad idea. What say you?
I don't really like it. I mean, it is early on in the season, but I just wouldn't pull. I won't pull the plug yet, man. I'd rather trade for somebody in that position because I think it's a little bit too early to be trying to switch guys and things like that. I really don't like the idea. I really don't like the whole thing of moving players around during the regular season, really, because I just think it's too. I mean, some positives can come out of there. Maybe it plays better, but also, I mean, a couple of teams have tried that in the past. It was one team I think did it last year and it didn't really go well. I can't remember the team, but I mean, it's
the Redskins. They had over 20-some different offensive line changes.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't like them, and I think it messes with the chemistry of the offensive line, man. And one thing about having a good offensive line, all good offensive lines, it all starts with chemistry. So I think if you tinker the lineup a little bit, it's going to affect the chemistry. I don't know. I'd rather you guys just trade for somebody at that specific position, at that left tackle position, versus just moving a guy. I'd rather just trade for a guy at a left tackle position who has experience playing there versus just moving a guy there. You feel me?
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, hard work and dedication said they need to put me there. Listen. I ain't gonna lie. You put me there, I'm liable to bite ankles the moment you get past me. I'm serious. I'm trying to grab the actual turf rubber and throw it in your face. I'm gonna make sure you know I'm here. You just not gonna make me look bad all day. I'm sorry. If I got to hug you to make you feel like I want to be next to you, you're not gonna just be making me look bad on national TV. So, and I played linebacker. You'd have been better served put me in linebacker. I like getting after the quarterback. I've never been a fan of trying to help the offense out. Well, I'll take that back. If you put me at fullback, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed running into people. But you don't want to put me at left tackle because I promise you, they're gonna be calling me the dirtiest player in the history of the NFL. I'm liable to have a little club in my uniform to whack you across the knees in case you get by. It'll be bad, man. It'll be bad for real.
That's not good.
Well, right. Now, one of the things that y'all should look at, and I know y'all never thought about this, the New England Patriots traded a 6th-round pick to pick up a guy from the Bengals. I can't think of his name. Bodine. That's what I think his name is. And then they released him. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions decided to go out, get him, make him center, move Ragnow over to the left guard, then move the left guard Joe Dow over to the tackle. Do not be surprised if that happens, or don't be surprised if they even attempt to just go and look at the guy, because we do seem to use New England as a farming system.
Move Ragnow?
Well, I'm telling you, if you're talking about tinkering the offensive line, it's going to have to be something that stands out. And to me, that would be a tinker I see more so than trying to find a left tackle. I don't see them, trading for a left tackle like Trent Williams.
I just think he's like the one guy I wouldn't move right now. Even though he is versatile, I just think he needs to be the center. But I would rather just move Joe Dahl over there and find a replacement for Joe Dahl, or put Glasgow there and find a replacement, right?
And also the thing with the center position, like I think the center position, I don't really think you should. Whoever your starting center is, if they absolutely suck at playing center, then you should move them. But if your center position is solid, like if your center position for the Detroit Lions is solid, then I wouldn't really mess with the center position, because look, all good offensive lines in the NFL, they all have good centers. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they got Jason Kelce there. When you look at Pittsburgh, you got Marquise Pouncey. Then when you look at the LA Chargers, they got the ugly Pouncey twins. So good offensive lines, or at least solid offensive lines, all start up front with that center position. I mean, the center position is basically the quarterback of your offensive line. If you kind of mess with that, then I think you're I think that's really going to affect the offensive line in a bad way if you mess with that center position, because the center position is probably the most underrated position in all of football, because that center position, if you have a good center, then most of the time your offensive line is going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, and I think you hit on it. I think you hit on some good points there. But my thing is, and I know some people are like, it's too late. Like Motorola, he says it's too late in the season to move the center around, and I get it, I do. But if you're talking about tinkering it, you have to go through and look at the waiver wires, look at people contracts, or who's available in trade for left tackle. You're not going to find too many of those players. You're just not going to find a lot of those players. And the ones you're going to find who are notable, you have to re-sign them. We don't have time for that. And then two, they get hurt all the time.
Their price tag is Lemery Tunsil price tag.
And that's what I'm saying. But I see one of the biggest things going on in the chat right now is surrounding one Mr. Jamal Agnew, which really is perfect, because it goes right into the next question. Should the Lions cut Jamal Agnew? Let's start off with you, MicroMike.
He definitely should be on the bubble at this point. I would give him another game, but on defense, he was terrible this Sunday. He was really terrible. I mean, he was getting beat a lot, and right now he's not offering much as a cornerback. I would rather put in Mike Ford. And you seen where Kyler Murray was going to, and he was going to where Agnew was at, the wide receiver he was covering. He blew it. When it comes to special teams, I don't know what's going on with him. Either he lost confidence or he lost a step due to the injury, but he's having a lot of issues. I mean, obviously we know about how he muffed the punt, but when he was getting the ball, instead of going forward, he kept going left to right. He would then run backwards, and it wasn't working. And I know the special teams right now, the blocking ability that they're doing on punts is not good at all. It's absolutely subpar, and it doesn't help Jamal Agnew. But he's not helping his case. I would give him one more game. If he does trash like he did Sunday, I would go ahead and release him. And I think Brandon Powell is on the practice squad. I'm not sure exactly what team he's on right now. And I would sign Brandon Powell. Or if they do not want to go ahead and do that, we got Ty Johnson, who's not being utilized. I mean, he literally had one carry. I think he could do a better job. I think Fulgham could do a better job. So I would give him one more game. And if he screws up again, I'm go ahead and cut him loose.
All right. Now, what say you, TA?
You're talking about with Agnew?
Yeah, I mean, should the Lions cut him? Should they just go ahead and cut him and move on? I mean, they cap him because he's a Pro Bowl kick and punt returner, but at the one game.
He had one bad game, man. It's like an NBA player going out there and playing and going out there and scoring. He normally scores 30 a game, but tonight he only hit 8. You know what I'm saying? You have bad games, man. And, I don't think that you should just go ahead and cut the guy because he was all pro. And, you know, you make mistakes, man. The game of football, you make a lot of mistakes out there. You know, I know that they want you to execute things and get things done. And sometimes you muff the ball, overthinking sometimes. And I think that that's what Agnew was doing. He was overthinking a lot. And by his reaction to overthinking, he ended up muffing the ball. And then he ended up it ended up affecting him on defense too. He couldn't cover anybody. So as far as with him probably playing like corner, I probably would like, you know what I'm saying, nip that in the bud for right now. But I will keep him out there and give him the confidence to continue to try to see what he can do as far as the return game go, because he was excellent for us, man. You know, I don't want to just cut the guy just because he made a mistake in this game, you know what I'm saying? Because it happens, but you got to go out there. The Lions should have won the game. It's no excuses. I ain't going to say that just because he muffed the ball that we need to give up on the guy. And that's
that's a good point. I mean, when you make a point that like that, you have to respect it, and there's nothing more that we can do than to respect that point. And I think you make a very good point. But what say you, J-Mo? Do the Lions, or should the Lions cut Jamal Agnew?
So the year Agnew made All Pro, it was another punt kick returner that made the Pro Bowl for the Rams. In the first Ram playoff game, he played the worst game I've ever seen a returner play. He muffed the ball. He turned the ball over twice. He was horrible in that Rams game, and they kept him. So Jamal Agnew had the worst game we've ever seen, but I'm with Mike. I would give him another chance. Now, if he has another bad game, he's definitely gone. But I would give him another chance, and I don't understand Lions fans. You want Ty Johnson back there. Why? Have we seen Ty Johnson return punts or kicks before? We don't know if he's any good at it. Y'all just want him back there because he's fast. Like, we got to actually, the guys that we put back there, we have to actually know if they're skilled enough to do the position. We don't really know. So that's why I'm kind of iffy on putting Ty Johnson back there, because I've never seen him do it before. Now, if he goes back there and is good, great. I would rather get Brandon Powell. People keep on saying he's on Atlanta. He's on the practice squad, so we can still get him. Get Brandon Powell, bring him back, and use him. But with Agnew, him being a defensive back, they need to just – it's a wrap on that. Like,
he can't cover it.
Like, it's a wrap on that, man. Like, you can't do that. Like, he can't guard nobody. So if just use him as a specialist, if you would like. But I say give him one game. He play bad again, you're out of here. But I just – My thing with replacing players is you have to have a replacement. If y'all think Ty Johnson is just gonna magically get back there and just be otherworldly, you got another thing coming. We have to actually see him do that first.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Now, just a quick intervention into it. Just want to point this out for the Pick'em League. If you have not seen the Pick'em League results, you should go in and check it so you can see where you stand. Again, there is a first, second, and third place winner at the end of the year for prizes that you will definitely want. As it stands right now, number one is Broken Lion 69, who has 13 games. That's right, 13 games. Number two is Keydrix, who has 13 games. But again, he has lost out in tiebreakers, thus making Broken Lion 69. So those tiebreakers matter. They really matter. So put thought into these picks. As we go through, we look at 12th Man Pride at number 3. I myself is at number 4. Eventually, Ellery is at number 5. Adam Whitehead, 6. Two guys in the podcast is 7. Marcus Corley, I hope I said that right, is number 8. TA is number 11. So sorry, TA. MicroMike is 13.
I see people in the comments saying Ty returner in college. That was college.
Well, we doing something right now, J-Mo. Hold on. We doing something right now. Hold on. So we also have Dolo Dynamite, who's at 17. Other DSA members who don't look too good, like Big Tate is 21. I see General G Berry at 15. Detroit Drews, another DSA member, is number 18. Dosa Dion, who literally did not even make the first game to pick and joined late, is number 24. Marcus Landon is 26. JT, you are 27. Dr. Dirks, if you have not subscribed to him, make sure you do, is 31. Ty, 34. Detroit's on Big Will is 35. Detroit Legendary Sportscast is 36. J-Mo is 38. It was a rough day for you, J-Mo. Ghost Gunner is 43. Tone Capone is 45 with 7 games right, 8 wrong. And Morgan Trice forgot his picks, and Blue just joined. So just wanted to kind of give you a quick rundown of the positioning as it stands right now for the the Pick'em League. Now, this is the part where you guys get to ask us any question that you want. So let's start formulating those thoughts on those questions as we move forward, and then we talk about this last little part of cutting Jamal Agnew. I'll give my 2 cents now. No, we do not need to cut Jamal Agnew. Yes, he did muff that punt. However, in the kick return game, the blocking was horrible. I mean, absolutely atrocious. It was just not there. They allowed for a punt to get blocked at the end of the game. They gave a short field for them to go down to score. Before that, Martin was pinning them inside the 5 and 10 the whole entire game. And the special teams was horrible. If you don't believe me, go over to MicroMike, who did a video giving a stock watch up and down about who did what. And it really did make a difference in terms of seeing the special teams fail at what they should have been doing. So no, I don't think it's just as easy to put somebody there and say, to put somebody there and just say, well, we're going to put this guy there and it's going to work, and bring back Brandon Powell and bring. These guys are going to be there, period. There's no need to panic. It was the one game. Yes, he muffed that punt. However, the rest of the special teams just wasn't good as a whole. So it may have started with that one, but overall, I'm not ready to just sit there and say scrap him that quick, even though he certainly is on my poop list. But what say you, JT? Do you think we should cut Jamal Agnew? He's a Pro Bowl kick and punt returner. So do you think we should, go ahead and cut bait and get rid of him?
I mean, there's other great punt returners out there that you could go get. So, I mean, if he has one more bad game, like Noble Sports Entertainment said, I mean, you can't cut a guy just off of one bad game, man. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I mean, being a punt returner is kind of hard because I do it occasionally, and it's a little nerve-wracking, man. So sometimes there's going to be a fumble here and there, man. But, I mean, if he has one more bad game, then I say cut him loose, because most teams actually cut their punt returners if they have more than 2 bad games. Is basically what most teams do. So, I mean, if you release them, I mean, you have other guys in free agency. I mean, you can get guys off the street to come and return punts and kicks and still get pretty good production. I mean, you got Farrell Cooper, who is an all-pro punt returner as well. So, I mean, this guy's out there, man. I mean, punt returner, kick returner. I mean, you can get guys off the street to come there and return punts, man, because although it is a little bit nerve-wracking and it requires a lot of concentration and skills, man, I mean, if a guy can't get the job done, man, then you have to go ahead and get him replaced, man.
I totally understand that. I have no problems with that. First question up from Dr. Dirks. He says, what is our biggest strength going into this game Sunday? In my opinion, the biggest strength still remains the same, the defensive line. I mean, Phillip Rivers ain't running nowhere. So it shouldn't be no reason for us to be playing contain on Phillip Rivers. If I even see that, I'm telling you, it's just more ammunition for either the old man to take his pupil and go, because they should be teeing off on Phillip Rivers. So I still say it's the defensive line. What say you, Mike? What do you think is the strength going into this game Sunday?
Kerryon Johnson, and I'm going to tell you why. San Diego Chargers, I think they let nearly 200 yards on the ground rushing against the Colts. If that's the case where they cannot stop the run, we need to feed Kerryon Johnson and feed him, because if he can get anything near a 200 yards or even past 100, look, we're probably going to win the game. What is it? When we get over 100, it's 9 out of 10 that we win.
And
so
12-1.
Yeah, 10-1. Okay, so absolutely, I feel like we need to run Kerryon Johnson. And if it was a fluke with the Colts, that may be different. I'm not sure. I don't believe it's a fluke. I think Kerryon Johnson needs to get fed the ball. We need to run a balanced offense compared to passing, and feed Kerryon. Stop going away from him. If he's hot, let him be. Don't pull him out for anyone else. If CJ Anderson is hot, okay. But if Kerryon is lighting it up like I think he can, put him in the game and feed it to him. If we can get that running game going, we could turn around, do play action pass to TJ Hockenson. We've seen what TJ can do. And if you continue to run the ball, they're not going to be able to leave that safety out back. They may have to drop him up front, turn around, play action, TJ Hockenson for big time play.
Okay. And again, if you have not hit that like button, make sure you hit that like button. Getting those likes up gets this video pushed around a little bit more, and it gets us out there more so we can do more and hit a bigger platform. Also, if you have not told a friend, you need to tell a friend to go tell their friend to tell their mother that if you're not watching Detroit Sports Alliance, then you're missing out on something big. And if you have not subscribed to Luke G's Field Review, please make sure you do. Make sure you subscribe to Noble Sports Entertainment. Make sure you subscribe to MicroMike. Make sure you subscribe to JT Sports. Make sure you subscribe to CA3 Sports Talk, Nomis J, Positivity Detroit 9071, Detroit Drew. Did I forget? Oh, The Big Take. Man, we got a lot of members, so I got to go through my brain.
313 J-Mo.
And 313 J-Mo. I said you, man. I couldn't forget you. You're the heart of the city.
I did not hear you say
that.
Yeah, I
Heart
got
of
you.
the city,
Trust me,
baby.
I ain't gonna leave you out there. And also, all those people are linked in the description. Make sure you put a thumbs up, and please put a thumbs up in the chat for me, so I can know you still with us, man, and you still rocking with us and enjoying the show. Put a thumbs up in there. If you want to give us a thumbs down, appreciate it. No love lost on my end. It is what it is. You know, you ain't gonna like everything, just like I can't stand Amos. It is what it is. You know.
You guys might answer a question from my guy.
So what I'm going to do is go to the next question. I'm going to go to the next question. So, we're talking about this game. One of the things that came out from the Arizona's game was the play of the secondary, most notably the Rashawn Melvin, and how they tried to pick on him until they realized that he was doing his best Mutombo impression, not in my house. So the question was posed by Oscar Vargas, who says, how do you guys feel about Melvin as the number 2? We'll start this off with UTA. How do you feel about Rashawn Melvin as the number 2 cornerback?
Man, I'm very comfortable with Rashawn Melvin being the number 2. Now that I finally got an opportunity to see him play, this dude was all over the field, man, and he was doing his thing out there, man, and that's something that we did not get last season from Nevin Lawson, better known as Never Lawson. He never got an interception. I mean, never ever, being a starting corner. So definitely, man, Rashawn Melvin, man, played an exceptional game. He was out there making tackles. He was batting balls down, and I think one thing that Melvin has is the size. A lot of people probably didn't know that, but this dude is about a 6'2" guy. So, he has that size out there, and he's able to be effective out there. So I'm definitely going to say that I liked the way that I see him, and I'm comfortable with him now being at number 2. And bringing Amani along slowly now. Now I'm very comfortable about it now.
All right. What say you, J-Mo? I mean, are you okay with him at that number 2 spot? Because I did not believe that he would be there based on what they did with Justin Coleman's contract when they brought him in. But Detroit's own Big Will, and a shout out to him. We had a nice little conversation when he got done talking, and I looked and I said, oh, you know what? That makes a whole lot of sense. I didn't even think about it, which was we were going to be playing more man. I was still stuck in the old ways of Jim Caldwell and what we was doing in defense. But Detroit's own Big Will brought me to the light. So with you, are you okay with Rashawn Melvin at number 2?
Well, yeah, and there was no way I could see Kollman playing number 2. I don't care how much money they paid him. To me, he's an inside guy. With Rashawn Melvin, I remember one of my subscribers, as soon as we got him, he did the little Big Will, Joey 2-time, shout out to you. He was like, yeah, he's the number 2. I'm like, man, this old average looking. I started cooking Rashawn Melvin, like, man, you better get this
I knew you wasn't fond of him at first.
I'm like, man, if you don't get this dude out of here, he ain't gonna be the number 2 cornerback. And then I started hearing stuff at training camp, and then I started hearing more stuff, and I'm like, well maybe he is the guy. And then Amani wasn't, progressing like to take his spot. But I like what Dark Prime Twin said. He was good until his injury. That injury time all cost us, by the way. But you can't blame that on him. But he has to be healthy, because I'm a little bit concerned. He was injured coming into the game. Played in the game, was great, by the way. But then he got injured again. So especially for this game coming up, we're going to need him very, very healthy. But, I mean, if he plays like this all season, it could cause us to extend Darius Slay so we can have 2 guys. Because I know that whole Slay situation, they might want to move on from him. But if you got a reliable cornerback 2, you want to keep him with your reliable cornerback 1 just like when the Patriots got Gilmore, I don't know who their cornerback 2 is, but once they got Gilmore, they started to build around him in that defense so they can keep everybody together.
Okay. All right. And Mike, what say you? I mean, are you comfortable having Rashawn Melvin be there for the number 2 cornerback spot?
Yeah, absolutely. Whole offseason, I've been saying that the secondary is going to be a strength of this team. You got Darius Slay on one side, and now you got Rashawn Melvin, who can actually be a very good complement. So he came from Oakland. We got rid of Never Lawson to Oakland. So we switched. The guy is playing to his receiver. If you've seen the tape, he literally was shadowing the receiver all the time. And what was one thing that I seen that I absolutely loved? Something that we don't see in Detroit that often. He turns his head so it does not result in a flag. And he knows the little things, turning your head. He knows what the wide receivers are going to do. He's a veteran. He knows exactly where to be in his place. And to me, Rashawn Melvin, I'm very happy for him as a number 2. And I absolutely believe that he will continue this throughout the year. Also, he has an injury, and I love this toughness. He was hurt. He kept coming back in. He was just getting through the pain. Just like the Army told me, you drink water, drive on, suck it up. Deal with it, rub dirt in it. That's what he did, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, I was impressed with him. I knew he had speed, but it's amazing to me how he do good with the Colts, go to Oakland, do horrible, get to Detroit and have a really good first game. So it was
the scheme.
It's the scheme. I was just about to say
the scheme is very important. I mean, and I know it. Now, other quick notable news I want to put it out there because I wanted to talk about this because it didn't have nothing to do with it, but I just thought this is funny. And it's one of the reasons why I always tell people receivers come a dime a dozen, but it's a reason why receivers do certain things and certain antics so they can keep their name out there so that it drives up their price as a player. But who gets in trouble for wanting to wear a $350,000 watch in the game? Who does that? And then come out after getting fined for doing it and saying, I'm gonna wear it again. For what?
Just rebellious, man. Rebellious.
No,
He's
a attention man. You know, they're divas, man. He's an attention holder, man. And I mean, I don't even know why he was wearing it, but I mean, it's for attention. There's nothing else. And you know, he's in Cleveland. He's a bigger starter than Baker Mayfield. So what more attention do you need?
Right.
Yeah, like I said, man, a lot of people was on that train for the Browns, and they were. The more that they put in Baker Mayfield's face, the more he started just getting erratic with those throws. So
I told people the Ravens was gonna win that division, man. I just didn't believe in the Browns. Hey, JT, I told you multiple times the Ravens was gonna win that division. So
JT saying pump your brakes.
Yeah, hold on. Let me hear you out. To be honest, that offensive line for Cleveland is a complete. Their offensive line is in the worst situation than what you guys in. Baker Mayfield was getting. Dude was getting killed back there, and I told Browns fans, do not overlook Tennessee. Has like a winning record versus playoff teams, and Tennessee, man, this is a scrappy team. This is why I love Tennessee. Tennessee gets after it. Tennessee is scrappy. They battle to the end, man, and that's what I love about Tennessee. But I mean, I still think, it's crazy how I start talking to him. I get a question about my Steelers. How you feel about Deion Sanders saying Big Ben should play? Are you serious? If Big Ben retires mid-season, that's our season. I don't care what people say about his performance versus New England, man. And also, shout out to my guy, Essaz, man. He's been asking the same question, how I feel about Pittsburgh going forward this season. I mean, I'm going to kill 3 birds with 1 stone, man. I'm talking about why Pittsburgh still has a good chance of winning the division.
Well, listen, make it short, because this is a Detroit channel. We ain't trying to. I mean, we get.
We invite him into our backyard,
but real talk. I'm not even being funny, but did y'all know that the Pittsburgh Steelers literally is the second adopted team by the city of Detroit? That is a fact.
I didn't know that. So that's why we are so cool with their fans. That makes sense.
The Detroit Lions if you go through and ask the average Detroit Lions fan who their team is, especially a lot of the older fans, they would tell you the Lions number 1, Pittsburgh number 2.
Yeah, man. I love the Lions, man. But I mean, like, if Big Ben retires, I'll be disappointed. And basically, there goes our hopes of the playoffs. And I think Cleveland is still my team to win the division, although because they just have a lot of talent and the most talented team most of the time, at least 70% of the time. And so winning the division. I like Baltimore, but I'm still not. I still want to see what Baltimore does against Pittsburgh week 4 at Pittsburgh. Well, that's at home, and then what they do against the Patriots, because a lot of Baltimore Ravens fans were talking smack about how we got beat down by the Patriots, but I mean, I want to see what they're going to do, man. And as far as our season, I mean, we played the freaking Patriots. The Patriots have had our number the last couple of years, man. I just don't know what it is. But
you and everybody else's number.
Smack everybody around. Right, the Patriots smack everybody around, so don't feel
like the
bad.
only team that, and I can see why Ravens fan would be cocky. And like I said, we're going to keep it Detroit, but the only team you don't have a Ravens number.
And see, look right there. Look, there goes somebody. Go another one. Dark brown twins. Says Lions, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. Man, I think it's the hard working groups that they like. Let me switch gears because we coming up on the time. So some of the other notable news, they say that Miami is working out Tease Tabor, which I'm not surprised because it was rumored that after that loss, a lot of players requested for a trade. So that's interesting. Yep. And it says T stands for.
Y'all need to leave him alone, man.
Let that man alone, man.
So again, it's just one of those things. Now listen, we coming up on that part, man. I really want everybody to say their piece and we get out of here in a peaceful manner, man. I really did enjoy today's show. It was so fun. The chat was extremely live and lit, man. Love it. Again, there goes some more proof that the Pittsburgh Steelers is a fan favorite. I mean, look, and he took he took another AFC team in the Texans, So, but again, just wanted to appreciate you guys for all the work that you guys do. And I'm talking about you guys on the panel, the guys in the DSA who come in, man, the Detroit Drew, all the fellas, the Nomis J, Positivity Detroit, Big Take, obviously you, Mike, TA, J-Mo, I mean, who am I forgetting, man? Carl. It's so many of us, man. We just keep on rolling. Just make sure you stay with us and rock with us. So for final thoughts, people, because I want to kind of get to it. Let's start off with our guest. Man, JT Sports, man, appreciate you for stepping in. But give me your final thoughts, man, as we head out on this show.
Final thoughts for the Detroit Lions is the playoffs start now for Detroit. This week, for the rest of the season, playoff mode. You got Philadelphia, you got LA, you got 2 divisional games coming up. So the playoff starts now. And if Matt Patricia doesn't win at least 3 out, I think Matt Patricia needs to win 3 out of 4 of these games. A lot of people might say 2 out of 4. I say 3 out of 4, man. Playoff starts now for Detroit. A lot of these teams went to the playoffs last year. So this is the time for Matt Patricia to prove himself. And specifically that Kansas City Chiefs game is the one I'm excited about the most. Defensive-minded coach better be able to do something to stop Mahomes and contain this offense, especially with Tyreek Hill being out.
Okay, appreciate that, man. And make sure you subscribe to JT Sports. And if you have not hit that like button on your way out, make sure you hit that like button and tell a friend because we're only gonna get better. Next up on there, I'll go. No, you know what? Let me take that around a little bit. Let's roll off with Mr. TA Noble Sports Entertainment himself, man. Let's get that last word in.
Hey, we appreciate everybody for coming out, man. We appreciate you, JT, for rocking with us on today.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. And you're always welcome to come back to the show as well, man. And we'll chop it up some more about the NFL and Detroit Lions. But yeah, man. Okay, yep, man. Shout out to everybody that hung out with us on tonight, man. We appreciate everybody. Make sure you subscribe to JT Sports. Make sure you subscribe to everybody in the DSA. You already know, guys, what it is. We are working hard to continually to pump out content for you, whether it be NFL, Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, whatever it may be. Make sure you subscribe to all of these guys. These are some awesome guys to rock out with, and we appreciate every single one of you. Without you guys, is no us. So I say this, I'm gonna give it to the maestro, Luke G. Let's go ahead.
All right, for sure. Appreciate that, man. Next up, we're going to have the maestro of all maestros himself, the Mr. Intro himself, MicroMike. Mike, did we get you to that 800?
No.
Okay, well, we still got time. Make sure y'all subscribe to MicroMike and get them to the 800. But Mike, give us those final thoughts.
Thanks again, everyone, taking your time out to hang out with us for a couple hours and talk Detroit Lions football. Absolutely great show, Luke. JT, thank you so much for coming on. Absolutely love your insight when it comes to the knowledge of the game. And you know a lot. If you ain't subscribed to JT, you got to do so, man. He knows his football. He talks about every single team. And it's amazing that he drops so many videos and has the time to do all this research. It's absolutely amazing, and it's great work. If you ain't subscribed to myself, please do so. I'm a cool guy, and also everyone else in the DSA. And I'll leave you with this. Adios.
Man, appreciate it. And then we come down to Mr. 313 J-Mo, heart of the city. Talk to the people, man. Give them the final thoughts.
I know a lot of Lions fans, including people on this panel, are going to be mad about what I say, but you know, the Lions are my number one team, and my second team is Tom Brady. So leave it there.
Okay, we can't be mad at that. Hey, we can't be mad at that because mine is the Chiefs.
I mean, see, mine it's not the Patriots; it's literally Brady.
He's a player. He's like, forget the team.
It's Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. I see him do it too many times. But anyway, back with the Lions, I feel like the key to beating the Lions is stopping. I'm telling you, we lose this game, it's gonna be because Austin Eckler killed us, and I'm gonna come here and be like, I told y'all. We have to stop Austin Eckler. Like, we have to stop Austin Eckler. We have to get pressure on Phillip Rivers, and Kerryon Johnson and TJ Hockenson are going to have to win this game for us. I think this is a game that, even though like I said, our defense is the best unit, but this is the kind of game where I think our offense is going to have to win us this game. Also, make sure you go to my channel. I got a video on are the Lions a playoff team or not. Let me know your thoughts on that. And check out my other videos too. And I'm going to leave you with this, man. If Taylor Decker has another bad showing and he's starting again, then we going to have to talk about him. Because I just can't take it no more, man. It's your boy, J-Mo, man. And JT, man, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I just want to thank everybody who stepped in and who rocked with us and been rocking with the DSA and been rocking with the roundtable from the beginning, man. You guys is amazing. And I see a lot of people who go out there like Lions Lee, man. That dude is phenomenal. He is the admin on my Discord, and he keeps it held down. He keeps people interested, and he also makes it entertaining and fun. Also got some help from a Falcon fan who is in my Madden league and who found me after I did one with Lieutenant Dan, and he's helped me out a lot. Mr. Morgan Trice, aka Mo, man, appreciate you too. To the fellas of the DSA, I appreciate you guys, man. Like I said, one pride, one family, one community. We hunt together, we eat together. It's Detroit stand up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I like to leave you with a simple word. The world is a jungle. You either fight and dominate or hide and evaporate. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out.